my name is Brenda, and
I'm Victoria. You can call me Queen V.
Oh, she's a queen. We are not sisters, but we wish we were. We wish we were. We would be so untouchable. How the backgrounds that we came from has affected our adulthood.
As you know, there are different types of families, and all of them are beautiful and wonderful. The fact that you were born somewhere and you came from somewhere and you have people to call you family is such a beautiful thing. And personally, I can say I was blessed to come from a large family with sisters and a little brother. And I'm almost close to the last born. So I've had big sisters and I still have them. We are lucky that all of them, we are still alive and well. And it has affected me. Being born in a large family has affected me in one way or another, negatively and positively. And I believe as we continue this interaction, you're going to understand more about it and maybe even relate to my story. And in the question and answer forum, I hope you're going to also share with us your stories. We are ready to listen and we are eager to know about you too.
Okay. So my side, I come from a very small family. We are actually just two of us, and there is a very big age gap between me and my brother, and I am the firstborn. So we are two different opposites.
Last fast.
Yeah. So maybe you can, Vicky, you can tell us maybe what are the positives of you coming from a large family compared to now when you are a small family?
And also the gender.
The gender also. I am just like my own individual through and through. Even when I meet up with my brother, we are two different individuals, but we love each other. So what what are your experiences?
I'm still trying to understand where you're coming from. It's very different from mine. But you have a sister in me. You always know that.
Oh,
so maybe you are 3 now.
Thank you.
So the positives about my family background is you always have someone to fall back on because like you had, I have big sisters. So you see, even being the same gender and being sisters older than me, they kind of formed the role for me, whereby they have gone through what I'm experiencing. So if I encounter a challenge that looks unique to me and I speak to them, they are like, hiyo ni kitu tumezoea, it's something we are used to, so you do this and this and this and you find out it gets much easier. Again, also I would say financially it's very beneficial on your money because if you call 2 out of the 5 your problem will be solved much faster.
Okay.
Before you get to the place where you have to call your parents, you have already solved it in the background.
Well, she is showing off.
That's a little. Believe me, there are negatives to that too. But for now, we stick to the positive of it. The other thing, they are a source of encouragement because sometimes you feel very down and you feel like you can't bank on friends, But family is, I would say, someone who always stands with you. And I would credit my sisters for that. They have been there for me through schooling, through growing up, holding my hand, even accommodating me when I came to Nairobi, even as a student and after school. I mean, I didn't have to, bother relatives. I already had a place to go.
A place to go.
Yeah, and before I even stood on my feet, you have someone is giving you a gas cooker, another one is giving you a table, you stand on your own quite easy.
And how would you say maybe your childhood was like? Maybe did you guys have a big age gap? How are those games that you used to engage in when you were younger? How was your childhood per se?
Okay, my childhood was fun, a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we also have an age gap because when I was being born, I think our firstborn was joining high school.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have much of a childhood with the two
older ones.
Yeah. But I have twin sisters who we have a difference of 4 years. So we kind of grew up together and my younger brother. And it was always fun because there were always activities to do together. All games, all fun. Even when you're doing work in the shamba and everything, there's a lot of interaction there. Yeah. So I have never been lonely, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what lonely
I
feels
should
like.
also clarify. I've never been lonely
Yeah.
myself because I was also brought up with my cousin who we are actually same age, born the same year. I'm a bit older with I think 4 months or March to June. Those are like 3 months. Yeah. So we were brought up together. He's a guy. So I was a wajakehe.
You were climbing trees and riding bikes.
Yes, and it was in the village. So it was quite interesting. So I would actually not take back my childhood.
Yeah. I think luckily we were both born in the village. There's that excitement back then. No electricity and all that.
And that's the fun part, Like even the childhood games. Like yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine. This is hilarious. I looked at his feet for some reason. I came to remember about how we went to those polling stations. And the way, like for me, because I was lucky enough, I can say, I used to go to school with shoes, but not everybody could afford shoes back then. So I was remembering this scenario of during the breaks, the breaks between lessons. So when we would go to the field and stuff, so I was remembering how those guys who never used to wear shoes, their feet are so hard.
I can imagine. I mean, they're walking on stone.
Exactly. So since they don't want to come and chapa you because they might be seen by others, so somebody could just pretend that they were, you are playing football, and they will come and squeeze your fingers with their.
I gave up.
With your feet. Uko hapo unabaki, you don't even know what has happened. You cannot even explain. And I'm telling you for sure, uchungu ya mkungumu is so hard. You rather be
like the spike shoes.
Na kwanza ziko na those miatokas. Woi. Would rather mtu akukanyange na kiatu other than those feet. So,
and you see, unfortunately, I think it was the same case in your school. Most of the boys were much older.
Oh yeah, I know. And they even had beards.
So it's like a 20-year-old man.
You are in class 6 and the guy has beards all through.
God. What was going on?
But it was fun. So
kwani masomo ilikuwa ngumu ama
no, because then there are people who used to stay in school even for like 10 years.
Oh, repeating classes.
Repeating classes, and you find them in class 5, leave them there and continue with your education. Yeah. But well, it's life, and I think then education was a bit I don't know how to say it, but it was a bit discouraging because it wasn't motivating enough. And also I think being in polling stations and back there, the teachers don't have much time to to deal with each and every student. Then those ones with beards also were labeled as the untouchables, because I remember there were guys we went to school with. They were just neighboring our school, and they were all boys. Those guys, even the teachers could not touch them. Because the moment you touch one, the brothers come and they come with pangas. So it was...
So even the teacher is afraid of them.
Wow. So it was a hilarious childhood with challenges, of course. No childhood is smoother. But it was fun. So I think even being not an only child, like being a child who was more unknown, because my
an only child for so long.
There's a difference of 8 years between me and my brother, and then me, I was in Shags, my brother was in town, so I was more of a girl back in the village. But with the school, there was a community, and then you go back home, there is also my cousin who was there. So I would say my background was quite interesting. We have so many stories to tell about our childhood, but that's for another day. Yeah.
Wow, it's a pleasure. Wow, it's lovely hearing that, because I think I've learned some new things I didn't even know about. You reminded me about the guys and football and stepping on your feet. You've taken me quite far.
That one. Hey,
I'm not comparing, but I think growing up in the village was much better as compared to
much better.
the stories I hear about the city.
Yeah, because I think the village toughens you up.
Yeah.
And there are things that you are able to do, and there are things that you are able to
I think you learn to live on the bare minimum.
The bare minimum. And then again, like for my example, the way I was brought up is like I can survive anywhere. Even when you drop me somewhere, I don't know, in the desert, I will still find a way to. We were not, is it pampering? We were not pampered.
Oh my God, that was the time for pampering.
Yeah, I think by when I was class 6, I could even carry the mtungi, the 20 liters. And I come from Muranga. So there are hills.
I know right now you'd struggle.
But now I would struggle. I've been in Nairobi for quite a while. I've become a weakling of some sort. But I think the background of being in Shads toughened us in a way that you also get to appreciate life in a different way. Even when you get to a point where there are things you're able to do on your own, because there were struggles. Even if we were not badly off, there were struggles.
I mean, every villager really resonates with that.
Yeah. And I know for me, maybe for those who know me and where I come from, you would say, oh no, maybe she didn't go through a lot. But there were still, because there were families that were actually struggling. Like to this date, you meet with those guys and you're like, guy, God is
living, walking testimonies.
Those are testimonies because they went through a lot because they were not well up, and then
they couldn't even afford food.
They could not even afford food. And you know how even cruel kids are when we are younger. Even the way people used to treat them just because of the background they come from. But I would say it is the hand of God. It is the hand of God, because there's a Kikuyu saying that
I think.
So it more or less means where you come from does not define the person that you end up to be. So it's been the grace and the work of God, I would say.
Sometimes, Brenda, I laugh because I have friends who do not believe I was brought up in the village. I don't know, for some reason.
Well, you call yourself Queen V.
So actually, that Queen V came from my dad.
Oh, okay.
From my young age, he started calling me Queen after Queen Victoria back then.
Oh.
So I think I kind of borrowed the name to my adulthood. And I still also feel like a queen, so by default. I don't know, I'm a queen of who? Of myself, maybe. Well, as much as we are talking about the positives, there are also downs to being brought in, the setup that I was brought in a large family. For example, being close to the last born, because my brother is the immediate last born, and then there is me. My opinions really never counted. Like, hakuna mtu anakuuliza ati, what do you think, what do you see? Decisions are made for you, and decisions are made in the family without consulting you. Sometimes you get to hear about something that was implemented and everyone knows about it, and you're the last to know, and you're like,
you have no idea.
Am I a part of this family? I think it seems like they baby you to the last minute, you are not seen as capable of understanding. I mean, you're still young in their eyes. And unfortunately, there's an age you get to that you feel that you're now mature enough to be included. And you don't want decision to be made for you, especially for you. And you feel like you're an outsider now. You start feeling like you're being segregated, like you're, especially me and my brother. And it feels bad, honestly. It feels bad. I don't know if I've really ever mentioned it to them per se. But I think I get used. And Brenda, that thing has affected me even in my day-to-day life. In that, even in my relationships, I know I'm digressing a little, but I'm used to people making decisions for me.
Wow.
Like I know a man is the typical leader,
Mm-hmm.
but even in minor decisions, what do we eat, where do we hang out, such things, I expect as my partner, you are the one who knows. I follow. Just say it and I follow. And sometimes your partner feels like you're not really engaging with them or you're not interested. But in reality, I'm used to people making decisions for me. So even in a friendly circle or in a workplace, I am not very forward. As in, you have to ask me personally, Vicky, what do you think? And you take me aback and I'm like, okay. Is that one for me? I feel it has affected me, and it's something I'm trying to work on. Yeah. And I hope I will eventually manage to. The other disadvantage of being born in a large family, resources, to be honest. Well, in those days, back when we were growing up, it's not just my family, but most parents were struggling and everything. So being too many of us, it brought up a problem, schooling. And again, when one is in school, when they finish, the other one is joining. So there's no break for the parents. And being the 6 of us, it was tough. Even food, okay, we never really slept hungry, but the type of food you're eating is not what you'd like. Because you want to eat bread, but who will afford bread for 8 people? So you have to stick with the ngwashes and domas
and which are healthy.
But you see, back then
they are very healthy.
We were not
but
thinking
back then,
yeah.
well, bread over everything else.
I have just added flesh when I was a little girl. I was small. I mean, there was no room for adding weight. So distribution of resources really became a challenge. And I think it was on a first priority basis, depending on what's happening. And I feel some people in the family were disadvantaged because of that. Of course, I won't mention names, but each one of us at some point had to compromise a lot. And it was tough. It's always tough because even up to now, you have to share. There's a lot of sharing encouraged. And sometimes you have to give up something for another person because they need it more than you do. Another negative thing I would say that comes from a big family, there's a lot of fighting. As much as there's a lot of love, there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of gossip. Sijui huyu alisema hivi. Point you start taking sides, this sister is getting along with this one more
than the other one.
The other one said this about the other one, and the other one said someone is just bringing fights. So you fight a lot. Sometimes you disagree a lot. Even in our adulthood. Sijui nani aliambia mom nini? Hey, kuna mtu ameongea sana, amekuseti. Well, you fight a lot, but it's an disadvantage, and also an advantage, because if I fight with you, Sister C is going to talk to us. They become Kofi Annan, and we're able to reconcile. Let me not talk much, because if I start talking of the negative and positive, I will take the whole day.
I think my experience is different, being the firstborn, and then we are just the 2 of us. I think I don't even know. Firstborns, first of all. Hugs.
Deputy parents.
Hugs. Because
we love you.
Thank you. Because I think we deal with a lot sometimes, and you're very overwhelmed, and also they actually think we never lack. So like you have you become. No, we don't.
I know.
God always comes through for us. The grace is sufficient. That is for sure. Most of the time, there are so many responsibilities, and especially if you are also a responsible person, there is also a way you would want your family to be. There are things that you would want for your family. So sometimes you even find yourself going out of your way.
Oh wow!
Sometimes you even take loans for you to be able to cater for the things that are there. You find yourself.
Affect you very much.
Of course, it affects you, but I don't know how to say it, because I think from the moment we start earning, it's like the parents take a step back of some sort. And then you also want to help, you also want to chip in. So it so happens that most of the time you find yourself going out of your way in so many ways. It's just that most of them maybe don't talk about it, but there are months that you come and the small sum that you're getting inapotea, you cannot even trace where it went because of the responsibilities and stuff. So being a firstborn, first of all, it's very overwhelming. That's one thing that is like common to all of us. Then also, depending also with the background that you come from, they are because they are firstborns who don't actually experience being firstborns per se, because their parents are there for them and come through for them through and through. But not everyone is privileged to have that. I would say that is the biggest negative. Then those fights you have as sisters, I don't know, being a big family for us, of course there will be disagreements here and there. Being the only daughter, yes, and being maybe away, I want to say I've been the luckiest person to have very good friends. So even when I feel overwhelmed, there are people that I can count on. That is a blessing I don't take for granted.
But I think you've known how to make friendship from way back when you met.
It's not that
you are accountable, and
I've
you
also
are
I am for the people I care for. I am there for them. But life is life. There are those who stick around. There are those who, of course, we know it happens.
You know, you're also a little tough. You are no nonsense.
It's because I think it's also being an individual and being brought up like almost alone. You get to you build you build boundaries. And also I've gone through so many things that have made me now only know how to rely on myself and not to bring people in. Because I've also found out there are people who are just users. So with that, I have very few friends, but the ones I have, they stand by me when I need them to be there for me, and which is something that I'm also so I'm a very grateful person by the way.
I think also there's something wrong in having many friends.
Oh, of course. If you have more than, actually somebody told me, a friend of mine, years back, and he said, he said to me that Brenda, if you ever find two just two people who you trust and people you can rely on, you are the luckiest person in this world.
Sure.
Because nowadays not everyone is genuine. Even those family members that
is a shocking part. Even the so-called family.
Even those ones. So it's actually a great gift to have people you can rely on being your friends. So I would say, despite us being a small family, for me, I've also had family through friends. And I am very grateful for that.
That's nice. I think now I'm starting to get my mind into your life a bit.
Being an individual.
You know, when we are here with you, are just like only children. We've met two of us, but now I'm able to understand more of your background here, more than I know. And we get to appreciate, both sides of the coin. Because especially nowadays, most children will turn out to be either only children or have one sibling.
Nowadays people have been
tell me a family that has 6 children
at this point. No, not especially the ones that are well marked. They only do one or two.
Even my own sisters who have children, kuna mtu anafika hapo.
Mimi bado sijaanza. I'm yet to start.
Imagine me too.
We are yet to start.
And we are not teenagers.
I'm thinking of 3 at least.
I'm actually going lower. 2.
Oh, this one. Look at it 2. No. You should have 3.
By the 3, I'll think about it. Mtu anaangalia mfuko.
No.
Although there's something about a third born, they are able to neutralize the 2. Yeah.
That's why I always wow. But God is the one who blesses.
Unataka watatu utapata sita. That's how it works. I'm talking of two, I'll end up with four.
Okay. We'll know when we get there.
Maybe you can get a large family to get an experience of a large family.
Oh yeah.
And I go the other side. I don't know.
The part in short is despite where we come from, despite the people that we are our own individuals.
Yeah.
We create our own lives the way we want it we want it to be. Sometimes it's by sheer luck, sometimes it's by hard work. But either way, be your own individual, create your own happiness with or without sisters and brothers. Be yourself and always put yourself first.
To add on to that would be appreciate where you're coming from. It doesn't matter if you've been brought up in a biological family or you're brought up in whatever setting that God placed you. There was a reason for that. And family is not necessarily the person you're born with.
Oh yeah.
It's the people who come into your life and stay and are there with you through thick and thin. So anyone who comes into your life and becomes a part of you, that is your family. But again, remember, as Brenda has said, you are an individual. You fight this fight alone. Even if you're born 10 people, you're your own child and
you
you're
face
your own person.
your demons and exercise your demons
Imagine.
alone.
Yeah. So don't expect someone to come to your rescue. If someone comes through for you, appreciate, but don't expect it so much. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to having this interaction again for the next session. Keep locked. Much better things are coming for you from these wonderful ladies. So cheers.
Welcome to Just Be Podcast. Welcome to Just Be Podcast.